Hi, it's Dave Brown here. I've got an open browser window there, and I'll just show you how you can find all the legislation and case law in Australia in any jurisdiction. If you have a look at the very top there, I've put in what it is, which is Austlii, AUSTLII.edu.au. And that's where you find it. I'll zoom back again. Now, you can pick your jurisdiction up just on the side here, and you'll see that it says cases or cases and legislation. And what I'm going to pick is South Australia, so I'm going to click on South Australia, zoom back out again, and now we've got a whole range of different things here, the database for South Australia. Now if you look at this, you'll see that just here is South Australian case law, and that depends on the court, which is the jurisdiction. So the Supreme Court of South Australia, District Court of South Australia, Licensing Court, South Australian Law Reports, South Australian Wardens Court. You've also got other odds and sods in there, including down the bottom Work Cover Levy Review Panel and the South Australian Workers' Compensation Appeal Tribunal, which may have some effect on the study that we're doing, but mostly it's this one that we need, which is South Australian legislation. So I'm going to go across here to legislation. So if you're going in and out, I'm going to make you drunk. So we'll look for the South Australian current acts, not the repealed ones. See, the current acts are the ones that are there at the moment, and they're kept up to date by the courts, by Austlii. The repealed acts you'd be looking at if you wanted to find an act which has been repealed, taken away. Okay, so we go and click on the South Australian current acts. Now the problem is you do need to know the name of the act or an approximate name of it. Now we know that it's the workers, the workplace health and safety. So we're going to click on the W, and then we've got a range of things that we can pick, the water industry and so forth. But down the bottom you've got Work Health and Safety Act 2012. Now, obviously it's not 2012 now, it's 2014, but that was the original time that act was created, and it remains with that age, that year on it. So you look for the Work Cover Compensation Act just below it, and you'll see that that's 1994. Now, they've made changes to that act since that, so but it's still known as the Work Cover Corporation Act 1994. So this one's a Workplace Health and Safety Act, or Work Health and Safety Act. Now, when you click on it, you come to the first page, and what the first page is just the table of provisions. It's a table of all the things that are part and parcel of the Act itself. So you can see that, how that rolls down, and any of these numbers on the side, which you can see. So if you wanted to do civil liability not affected by this Act, you click on that. Section 267 gives you 267. But I'm going to go back again to the main Act, because what I want is a copy to be able to download and have a look at myself. Now, and you can do this too, but be aware that if you're going to use it for something that's important, always go, the download that you take won't be being updated, obviously, as time goes on. So you've got to be careful that although you can download it, which we're going to do, so we click on the download bit, it says available data forms, rich text format. I'll click on that, and that'll actually download, or has already downloaded, I think. There it is there. Pardon me. The rich text format of the Act, which I shall get out of there. No, that's not right. That's not what I wanted. WHSA, rich text format. Now that gives me what's called a rich text format, and you can open that in Microsoft Word or any program that you like, basically. But we're not going to do that right at the moment. So that's the way you get that. Now I'm going back again through to the very beginning of it again, and I'm going to click on South Australia again. You know, if it was Queensland, you'd look for the same thing, but for Queensland or Northern Territory or ACT, whatever you like, it's all the jurisdictions are there. Some of them are, especially the jurisdictions that haven't adopted it fully, some of those will have different names to the acts, but you can figure them out, not too hard. Now the other thing we need is not just the legislation, but we also need let's have a look here. This is the current acts that we've got. Oh, I suppose actually we might be able to find them under acts. Let's have a look and see. Work health and safety. Well, we've got no, that's strange. Why am I not seeing that? Hang on, I'll just go back again for a little bit. South Australian jurisdiction, not the case law. Oh yeah, sorry, missed it completely. I'm an idiot. South Australian numbered regulations. Now, pretty much all acts come in two parts. So there's the act itself, the primary act that goes through Parliament, has to pass through all, both houses if there's two houses. You've got that, and you've also got regulations which are simply made by the departments or the minister. And the minister is given the ability to make regulations for the use of the act, as long as they don't operate what's known as ultra vires, which means simply, it's a Latin phrase for meaning out of their legal ability, if you like. So a minister can't just have an act pass through Parliament and then suddenly produce regulations that have nothing to do with the act. The minister, she or he, can only look at the existing act, and the act gives that minister power to make regulations in very specific areas. So once again, we go for W, because we're now looking at numbered regulations. Pardon me. And you'll see straight away there's work health. Oh, I can zoom up on this one. Still getting used to this program at the moment. Work health and safety fees, variation regulation. So we probably don't need to worry about that too much. It's about fees, but it may be something useful. Work health and safety regulations, 2012, very important part of it. And work health and safety variation regulations, so that we'd need to have a look at to see what it means as well. But there's three at least that we know are going to be covering work health. Now, there's no requirement for the regulation to be the same name as the Act, but it is almost invariably so. So if your Act is called Work Health and Safety, the regulations will usually be called Work Health and Safety Regulations. Now, if you hadn't fallen asleep already, that's that's where we're at in terms of finding it. I'll show you a little bit more about the site because it's a fantastic site. Not only can you get, let's look at South Australia, and what we'll do is we'll look at the Supreme Court of South Australia. So I'm hopefully not clicking too fast for this, because it's much bigger on my screen. So Supreme Court of South Australia, and we can actually do a search. So decisions beginning, you can have decisions by name, you can do all sorts of things like that, but you could do 2013, and this will give you all of the cases that were decided in January 2013, February 2013 in the Supreme Court of South Australia. Now, it's not a very good way of looking through cases because they're involved in all sorts of different types of cases. So I'll pick one up if you like. Applications by the respondent for security for costs and payment out of the suitor's fund. There's a whole range of different things here. It says, but essentially in this particular case, it tells you what it's about. It's about appeals and new trials. The appeal, practice and procedure, South Australia, security for costs. Now this was known as the head notes of the case. Every case, pretty much throughout the whole of, well, certainly Australia, New Zealand, the UK, the US, anyone that has a system of law that's basically that is English in origin, or British in origin, if you like, no English really, has the same basic principle. So they go through and they give you a head note, which is a short note of the case itself. So you can see what's happened there and how they've got held. Held means the holding of a case is what the decision was, and includes in this one appeal dismissed. Tells you what legislation was used to look at, and on it goes from there. And but that's a very, it's a terrible way of looking things up. What you can do instead is go back a bit, and so we'll go back to the beginning again. Click on South Australia, and then you can type in, say, work health, GALTH. Sorry, whoops, should make that 2 words. Work health. And we've got, and funny enough, only one case comes up. Okay, so let's have a look at this and see what this one tells us. Environment, Resources and Development Court, South Australia. Now I wonder why it's come up with this as a case. Okay, court delivered the following judgment. So you can do a find. I was just do a find to find out where the oh yeah, it does have some work health implications, but that's basically it. So looking at, so it's saying that there's only one case that directly uses those words, work health. Yeah, one case that uses the words work health in the South Australian jurisdiction. It's not because it's most cases were under the older Act of Workplace Health and Safety. Or OC health and safety, occupational health and safety. If you type that in, you get heaps of cases, but they're not much use at the moment. Gives you some idea that there's although the legislation was enacted in 2012, nothing has yet really got to the courts in terms of making decisions. Well, it certainly doesn't appear to be anyway. Nothing's been what they call a reported decision. Now, not all of the case law in South Australia or any jurisdiction is reported. Only that case law which has some significance gets reported so that other people can read it. For instance, you don't get hardly any magistrates' cases are reported because almost all of them are verbal, and they're not actually even written down, basically, and they just give a summary judgment from the bench, and then on goes the next one. Otherwise, you'd have hundreds of thousands or millions of cases for drunk driving and all that kind of stuff. And none of those things are important unless it goes on appeal from magistrates' court to a superior court. So anyway, look, I don't know if I'm making much sense here, but really the whole aim of the thing was to say Austlii. So let's go have a look at that again so you know what it is. I think I've got it in there as a thing. So it's www.austlii.edu.au, and then you get to that front page and you can then pick out quite specific databases. So you can look at all the databases, or you can look at just those. You can pick up New Zealand. You've got There's very specific types of law here available as well: military law, privacy law, taxation law, workplace law, but I don't think that workplace law covers anything other than industrial relations and that kind of or it might have some application, workers' compensation appeal tribunal, but no, it doesn't appear to have much. No, it doesn't. Doesn't seem to have very much. Pardon me, regarding the the subject that we're studying, the workplace health and safety. Okay, look, I'm going to cut out of this and put it up on the net so you can have a look at it, and then I'll do a podcast about the subject matter.